Hello everybody. Today I want to take a look at how efficient shifting floor witch farms are in 1.9. Just as a reminder, in 15W38 the existing shifting floor designs got broken, so if you shift normal blocks, mobs will no longer glitch through. The exception is Soul Sand, because it's a little bit lower, witches still fall through. Since we are very close before the release, I'm quite sure Mojang won't change that anymore. So that's why I took a look at the shifting floor farms again, because I thought you only would have to change the normal blocks with Soul Sand, and that's basically it. But it turned out that some other behavior also changed too. And this is the witch farm I made for 1.9. It's a modified version of Sharia's toggle state shifting floor design. He showed that last year on his channel, and the main advantage of this farm is that it is a toggle state shifting floor design. So that means the floor only shifts once. As you can see, if you summon a witch, the floor only shifts once. And the advantage of this is A, that it saves on lag, and B, the rates are higher, because when the floor is sent over, it turns into block 36 and mobs can't spawn on that. And so you have more spawning spaces. There's always a chance that a witch doesn't fall through at the first time, and the solution in 1.8 was to shift the floor more often until it would finally fall through. And what was modified in contrast to the 1.8 farm was, in 1.8 we used a pair of hoppers, but since item duplication still happens in 1.9, Rego tested it, we used a pair of droppers now, because it got really annoying. We built the old farm with the hoppers on our server and always had to clean up the duplicated items, and that's why we use a pair of droppers now, which has disadvantage that it has to be powered. So when the floor gets shifted over, the dropper here is powered with the quasi connectivity and updated with a rail, and same happens on this side. This is powered here with quasi connectivity and updated with the piston. And those droppers are a fixed amount of items for the single strength. And what's also interesting is that the timing got changed. So whenever witch spawns here, it takes 2 game ticks before the floor shifts over, so it's quite fast. But it falls down to the second floor, then the 2 game ticks is too short. In 1.8 it was perfectly fine, the witch fell through, but that happens in 1.9, so you need 2 shifts if the delay isn't high enough. And that's why I just added a repeater here. That's the 1.9 version I built, and now it takes 4 game ticks of delay at the second floor. So this repeater here, so that the first floor reacts in 2 game ticks, and the second and third react in 4 game ticks, and then the witch would fall through. Okay, that's all the changes I made, so let's go to a testing world and see what happens. There's one nice advantage of 1.9 that I haven't mentioned yet. Redstone dust is now spawn proof. In 1.8 we had the problem that this location here wasn't spawn proof, and there was just no way to make it spawn proof. Couldn't put anything above it because there was a tripwire, and with light it would reach in the farm. So the solution in 1.8 was to put a minecart there, because entities can't spawn in other entities. But since the redstone is now spawn proof, this works fine. Same goes for the rails, for example. Those are also spawn proof, so we don't have to worry about those. Okay, let's take a step back and let some witches spawn. And here you can see the spawning. They fall down fine. And it seems like the farm is working fine, but I'll let this run for 5 minutes and then you'll see what happens. So I had this running for 5 minutes now, and here you can see what happens if a witch moves and doesn't fall through the first time. So there's a very low chance that the witches will fall through afterwards. And takes really a lot of shifts until they would finally fall through. And yeah, this decreases the rates by a fair bit. So I had this farm running for a full hour. I was standing down here. So yeah, some of the witches that didn't want to fall through despawned, and the rates were in total 7,100 items per hour, which is still quite decent. So I would have expected it to be about 7,400 or 7,500. That's what you could expect from a good witch farm. But because of this issue, I don't know if that's related to Soul Sand or 1.9, the rates were lower. So yeah, I don't know what to think about this. So this farm is still quite viable. You could build it in 1.9, but since there are easier options that would yield just about 200 items less, I showed a very simple farm that would yield 6,900 items. Let's take a quick look at that. So this is the simpler upwards shifting floor witch farm. It works by pushing the whole floor up, and this causes the witches to glitch through, and it's activated with a clock. Yeah, and as you can see, this is really super cheap to build and yields 6,900 items per hour, so just 200 less. The disadvantage of the system is that it doesn't have a detection, so the mobs keep piling up before they fall through. And if you would have, for example, a quad witch shot farm, then you might need to activate the floors more often, or you could get into trouble with the mob cap. But if you have a single witch hut, then the 10 seconds is really the best solution for this, and you won't have any problems with the mob cap ever. So yeah, I guess if you want a really simple witch farm, I guess this is quite good for 1.9. If you need something where the mob cap isn't affected and still relatively easy to build, then the shifting floor design might still be an option. And if you want to put a lot of effort into a farm, then you could maybe use a farm where skeletons shoot the witches down, which is also, I guess, will be the most efficient solution for 1.9, especially now that we have options to delete arrows. So if we let sand fall down on a fence, and all the arrows that would fall on the sand get deleted, and that's really perfect for the skeleton farm that Nemon showed. I'll also link it in the video description, because otherwise if you don't have a way to delete the arrows, a lot of arrows, they would just lag your game if you have thousands of arrows in there. But with this solution, that could be an option. Okay, I guess that's all I want to talk about witch farms for 1.9. In my next video I want to talk about tree